If you naturally wake up late, science just proved you're not lazy. You're actually wired differently, and what researchers discovered will validate everything you've ever felt. For decades, society has worshipped early risers, the 5 a.m. club, the morning routines, the idea that waking up late means you lack discipline or ambition. But modern psychology and neuroscience have completely shattered that myth. Because people who wake up late aren't just different in their sleep schedule, they're different in how their brains are wired, how they process information, and even how they experience creativity. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why waking up late might actually be your brain's way of optimizing for something most people don't even recognize. Let's dive into the real psychology. Number 1, you have a different chronotype. Scientists have discovered something called chronotypes, your biological preference for sleep and wake times. It's not a choice, it's genetic. Studies show that night owls, people who naturally stay up late and wake up late, have different circadian rhythms than early birds. Your body literally runs on a different internal clock. Research from the University of Barcelona found that this isn't about laziness or poor habits, it's about biology. Your genes determine whether you're a morning person or a night person. And here's the part society gets wrong. Neither one is better, they're just different operating systems for the same human experience. So if you've spent years feeling guilty about hitting snooze, understand this. You're not fighting laziness, you're fighting your own DNA. And that's a battle you were never meant to win. Number 2. Your brain peaks at different times. Here's something fascinating. Research shows that night owls often have enhanced cognitive performance during evening hours. While morning people are winding down, your brain is just getting started. Studies from the University of Liège found that night owls maintain better attention and faster reaction times later in the day compared to early risers. This means when everyone else is mentally exhausted at 8 p.m., you're entering your prime. Your focus sharpens, your problem solving improves, your creativity expands. It's not that you're slow in the morning, it's that your brain has scheduled its peak performance for a different time slot. And in a world that measures productivity by morning meetings and 9 to 5 schedules, that difference has been misunderstood as underperformance. But it's not, it's just misscheduling. Number 3, you might be more creative. Multiple studies have linked late sleep schedules with increased creativity. A study published in the journal Personality and Individual Differences found that night owls scored higher on tests measuring creative thinking and problem solving. But why? Psychologists believe it's because staying up late requires breaking from social norms, and people who naturally operate outside conventional schedules tend to think outside conventional boxes too. Your brain doesn't just wake up late, it thinks differently, it questions more, it explores ideas that others dismiss as impractical or strange. Some of history's most creative minds were night owls. Artists, writers, inventors. They didn't follow the world's schedule because their genius didn't operate on the world's timeline. And if you wake up late, there's a real chance your brain is wired for that same kind of unconventional brilliance. Number 4, you're more adaptable to change. Research suggests that people who wake up late tend to be more flexible and adaptable. A study from the University of Madrid found that night owls often score higher on measures of cognitive flexibility, the ability to switch between different concepts and adapt to new information. Why does this matter? Because in a rapidly changing world, adaptability is everything. While rigid morning routines might work for some, your brain thrives in variability. You adjust faster, you pivot easier, you don't cling to what was, you move toward what could be. This flexibility shows up in how you solve problems, how you handle stress, and how you navigate uncertainty. And that's not a weakness. In fact, in unpredictable environments, it's a significant advantage. Number 5, you experience deeper focus during your active hours. When night owls finally hit their stride, something remarkable happens. Studies show they often achieve states of deep focus and flow more easily during their peak hours. This is because your brain isn't fighting its natural rhythm, it's finally aligned with it. Psychologists call this ultradian rhythm optimization. Basically, when you work during your biological prime time, your brain produces higher levels of dopamine and norepinephrine, the neurochemicals responsible for focus and motivation. You're not just awake, you're locked in. So while early risers might get more done in the morning, you're capable of intense, focused work sessions that produce exceptional results. Quality over quantity, depth over duration, and that's a completely valid approach to productivity. Number 7, you're often more intelligent. This one surprises people, but research from the London School of Economics found a correlation with higher intelligence and preference for late sleep schedules. The study suggested that more intelligent individuals are more likely to adopt evolutionarily novel behaviors, like staying up late in a world that historically required early rising. Now, this doesn't mean every night owl is a genius or every early riser isn't, but it does suggest that people who wake up late might be wired for complex, abstract thinking. Your brain might be processing information on a deeper level, making connections others miss, and exploring ideas that require more cognitive resources. And if that's true, then waking up late isn't a flaw, it's a feature, a sign that your mind operates with more complexity than the average person. And number 7, you've been living in a mismatched world. Here's the hard truth. Society was built by and for morning people. School starts early, work starts early. The entire structure rewards early risers and punishes night owls. But that doesn't make your rhythm wrong. It just makes it incompatible with an outdated system. Psychologists now recognize something called social jet lag, the misalignment between your biological clock and social obligations. And guess who suffers from it most? Night owls. You're constantly forcing yourself to wake up before your body is ready, and research shows this chronic misalignment leads to higher stress, lower well-being, and even health issues. But the problem isn't you, it's the system, and more schools and companies are finally starting to recognize that flexibility in schedules leads to better performance, not worse. Because when people work during their natural peak hours, everyone wins. So if you wake up late, stop apologizing for it. Stop forcing yourself into a mold that was never designed for you. Your brain has its own rhythm, its own timeline, its own way of achieving greatness, and the world is slowly catching up to what science has already proven. You're not lazy, you're not disciplined, you're not broken, you're just wired differently, and that difference might be exactly what makes you exceptional. If you love learning the psychology behind everyday behaviors, hit subscribe, because on this channel we don't judge how you live, we explain why you live that way.